It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Of course, we want to remind you the Shop Report is brought to you by Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, 1D, 2E Detroit, or you can slide on over to the website, rocketdigital.net. That's ROCKIT digital.net. Make sure when you're there, while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. And for my folk out there in TV land, if you want to leave your questions or comments during today's program, by all means, please do so. We'll throw it up on the screen. And y'all know what's coming next. If you're one of them folks who want to leave a question or comment that's indignant or ignorant in nature, won't be seen on this screen. Matter of fact, here's what you'll get.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Absolutely not. With that being said, joining me on the program today is my cat from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park. Let's give him another intro. Brother Rich, what's happening, man?
Hey, word is on the street that you took the applause, the initial applause on the program from the Dallas Cowboy cheering section. Is that true?
All right. That was a minute and 5 seconds, man. You getting good at this, man. I'm trying to tell you, you're really getting good at this. But yeah, I don't know what's happening.
I was just looking at for an answer, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Until some of our other co-hosts decide to join the party or the program today, I don't get it, man. You know, it's gonna be a lot of y'all getting fired. That's it. You know what I mean? I'm not Donald Trump. Absolutely not. I mean, you can tell, right? You can tell. But yeah, y'all are fired. Absolutely.
Hey, look, if I was arguing TJ's arguments every weekend, I wouldn't show up myself.
He deserved to be fired. But anywho, until all the rest of the folks that decide to join us, when they join us, if they're going to join us, Brother Richard and I are going to get things started. Here we go. We're going to start the show. All right. We got a couple of items on the menu for today. Obviously, we're going to finish up with our NFL divisional previews, previewing the NFC North and the NFC East with football season just around the corner, if you would. But Brother Rich was not with us this past show or the last show to discuss the whole DeShaun Watson thing. But before I'm going to let him have his say, y'all know how he get down, okay? He don't pull no punches. I asked him to use his crossover, but instead he wanted to do Kobe. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to go for 81 every time. You know what I'm saying? He want to go for 81 every time out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Say something, eat something now and say something for later is what they say. I don't get it. Yeah, it's all good. So, Brother Rich, I'm going to need you to use your crossover today. But before we get to your take on the whole DeShaun Watson and whether or not if he should have got a 6-game suspension, I got a bonus topic, okay? Actually, it's 2 of them. I had already set up and put the post out for what we were going to be discussing today. And I'm going through some stuff, you know how I do. Even though this week's post was already out, I'm already headed on to the next week where we might talk about the following week and so on and so forth. And I come across something very, very interesting. Now, I know they've been trying to do this for quite some time, right? But both Tesla and and Samsung have actually produced flying cars. Did you know that?
I wouldn't be surprised. And the technology was bound to exist. We have planes. The fact that we have something that can fly tells us that eventually
it was going to come to pass.
Do something with the car where they lift the car up, get the car to have enough energy to lift it up off the ground. So I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't trust them.
Well, I don't know. Listen, let me. Samson, SAMSON, Sky flying car, weeks away from going on sale. Now, For the Samson flying car, and you all can go to Motor Biscuit. Motor Biscuit is the one who did the article on this thing, and it's pretty slick too. Y'all got to go check it out. Go to Motor Biscuit. Motor Biscuit is one of like those like Car and Driver.
Okay.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Okay.
They test drive certain vehicles and then get their take on, how this car handles in corners and up speeds and, gas mileage and things of that nature. Pretty good publication, by the way. Yeah. So you all can go to Motor Biscuit and check out Samson's new flying car. But you got to have a pilot's license to fly. Okay. Yeah, you got to have a pilot's license. It's a lot you got to have if you're going to buy one of the Samson's flying cars. But no sooner than I see the one for Samson, I see the one for Tesla. Tesla, hold on here. They done came out with one right on the heels of it, and theirs look pretty slick too.
Okay.
Don't have because it's considered the ultralight in the ultralight class vehicles, whatever that means. You don't have to have a driver's license. You don't have to have a serial license. I'm serious. You don't have to have nothing. If you can afford to get one, you can go get one. There's gonna be a lot of accidents in the air. I'm just saying.
I'm saying to you, would you trust that with the kind of way we live in America? Would you? No,
I don't even. Absolutely not. I don't even trust the drivers on highways here. Right. You get what I'm trying to tell you? You know why you're playing, okay, folks? Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine the way folks are on their cell phones in cars?
This is what I'm saying to you.
Oh,
the way we operate in the American streets, you would trust that in New York with all those buildings, and so I'm gonna fly a car through New York City.
Oh yeah, no, you probably could, Brother Rich.
No,
you know what I'm saying? You get clear for airspace from here all the way to California, New York to California.
If you've ever been in a helicopter, you know that how crowded the sky can get real quick when it's a lot of helicopters taking off, and the kind of stuff that's going on around there, and the kind of helicopters that crash regularly. No, I wouldn't trust anybody in America to be flying around above the sky above me with that kind of noise.
Yeah, but again, you all can go check out Tesla's and Samson's new flying cars. These are not like what do they call them? Not mock. I forget the term that they call them. Concept. These are not concepts anymore.
No, I'm sure
these things are actually being set to be in production here. I don't know how soon, but sooner rather than later. So yeah, you all can go check it out. That for the Samsung, you can go to Motor Biscuit, and of course you can go to Tesla and check out Tesla's flying vehicles. But like George Jetson said, if you watched the cartoon back in the day, 2022, and we are here. I can't believe it. I wouldn't get one, and I didn't actually see a price tag for them, but I'm sure it's up there in the. Well, I mean, what you either get gonna get a Rolls Royce, or you're gonna get a flying car. You know what I mean? That type of deal. All right. But anywho, we slide on over to our discussion about our continuation of the DeShaun Watson case. And what I asked the fellas was, did DeShaun Watson, well, the title of the show the other day was The Verdict is In, or Is It? Meaning of, obviously, DeShaun Watson got a 6-game suspension. Then on the heels of getting a 6-game suspension, turns out the NFL say they're going to appeal the suspension. Then in addition to that, Roger Goodell said he's going to hand it off to somebody else. Just in general, Brother Rich, give me your thoughts on Sue Robinson, whether or not DeShaun should have got 6 games, Goodell's role, the NFL, etc.
Well, we were talking about earlier before we came on air. I'm going to say it like this again. If justice is supposed to be blind.
Supposed to be good.
Supposed to be. Listen to what we're saying. Justice is supposed to be blind. I'm not supposed to. I was taught that justice, the reason the justice symbol has a blind or folder or a napkin across the eye is because you're not supposed to
or
be
bandana or whatever it is.
Or a bandana, whatever you want to put it, whatever you call that. Justice is not supposed to look out and see the race, the sex, the nationality, the color. Justice is not supposed to see the rich or the poor if you're going to deal in something called justice. Now, if we are saying that DeShaun Watson is guilty of some crime, that he deserves some punishment, and the matter goes before courts of law. And the justice system says we don't find anything here that's criminal in nature to a point where we can charge this individual. We've been saying it on the program for the longest time. The adage in the American justice system: you can indict a ham sandwich. Now, a young African American multimillionaire athlete in Texas, that would be an easy indictment to get there in a law and order.
Absolutely, like especially if you know Texas's history.
Absolutely, Texas is known to be law and order. If it's like that, and he has been found into an egregious position that violates some criminal element of the law, then they would have charged him. See, he goes before 2 grand juries. They bring a no bill on him. Now, the NFL in the collective bargaining agreement agreed that it should go now. No more should the commissioner be the sole arbiter on this. We can have an independent arbiter. An independent arbiter hears it and says, this is what I think should happen, not because he violated something criminal, but based on the laws of the NFL, there's some conduct here that I kind of find maybe he could have done better. So he has to be punished. And he also didn't show any remorse, which is remember, this is what they're saying. I saw on the Twitter platform that this is what they're saying is the real element of her punishment. He did not show any remorse. Okay, wonderful. So the judge decides, an independent arbiter says, okay, based on the NFL policy, based on the manual you agreed to play under as an employee of the NFL, you can be suspended 6 games. Now the NFL says, no, we want to go and suspend you for the rest of the year. We want to fine you. We want to maybe suspend you in some word called indefinitely, whatever that means. Then you have to file appeal to be reinstated. What has DeShaun Watson done that he should be cost another year of his career? Football is already a small window. Any injury can put you out forever. So here's a young man who already took a year off, who's being punished now in the court of public opinion because nobody has found him guilty of anything. So he's punished now in the court of public opinion. Every media talking head is instructed, and I said instructed because they are instructed. They don't
of course.
They're ventriloquist dummies, and they're instructed to go out here and say that DeShaun Watson is the most horrible human being that has ever walked the face of the earth. But nobody's talking about the Houston Texans, who we're hearing were involved. We're not reminiscing about Robert Kraft, who was the owner of the New England Patriots, who was caught up in a sting. And don't tell me it's not the same thing, because it is. If this is about the dignity of women, if this is about men abusing their positions with women,
if this is about conduct detrimental to the policy.
Conduct detrimental to the league and the policy and egregious behavior, how come this is not an element of this case? That based on the fact that this man had no punishment, and he's an owner, one of the major owners, team winning all kind of championships, but he's allowed this kind of behavior because, he's a grieving older man and he was just, out having a good old evening. Yeah. But DeShaun Watson, and then people will use the number of they'll say, well, what about 25 women? So let me ask you, is one alleged sexual assault, that's okay, but 25 is terrible, but 1 is okay. Do we value women in society, or we don't?
Thank you.
Is it? We have owners, the Indianapolis owner, your
Jim
team,
Irsay,
the Cowboys owner. Mr. Jones. I know he's a friend of yours, but nevertheless, his behavior has been egregious.
Unbelievable.
This is real. This is
real.
See,
let me say this to you too. Let me ask you this. There are some reports that said the number was 60.
Okay. What if it was 100?
Okay, right. And I got a couple more questions off of that. Let's say the number was 60. You mean to tell me that we didn't start hearing about if it's that many, we didn't start hearing about this until after he said he wanted out of Texas.
Facts.
And go ahead.
The lawyer who is representing the majority of the women, the quote, alleged victims,
yes,
has a personal relationship with the owner of the Houston Texans.
Yeah,
an owner, mind you, who is reported to have made comments about NFL players.
Oh, it's out. It's on record. Yeah. It's on record. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't know if he's still living. I'm not sure about that. I don't know if he's Bob McNair. I don't know if he's deceased or not. Whatever.
Well,
but
he's
whatever.
Passed away. God have mercy on him. If mercy is to be had for that kind of thing. But I'm saying that in the living context, we know what kind of franchise sentiment runs through that organization. That he is a runaway slave who want to break his chains of his slavery. This N-word want to run up north and be a free N, and I'm gonna fix this N. Let me get some of my ends on TV to talk about one of their own ends, and some of my good house ends.
Your sound went out. Can't hear you. Yep, your sound went out. Bear with us, people. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. Brother Richard's going hard. Yep, he'll join us right back. But as you can hear, I mean, the man got more to say, plenty to say, not enough to say, to tell you the truth. I'm with him every day, all day. And you all heard us when we discussed it on last week's show. What was it? Was it last week? What's today? Sunday? On Wednesday's show. Yeah, this past Wednesday. Sometimes I forget. I told y'all the mind be slipping like the transmission on the 68 Buick that's been sitting in the garage too long. But at the end of the day, if it was that many women, why are we just now hearing about this after he asked to be out? How do you have that many? 25, 35, 10, 5, 14, and we don't hear about this at all. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, when I say, all right, we got him back, bro, Rich. Can you hear me? Yep, I can hear you now.
There's these computers.
Yes, I mean, come on, man. It's technology. It happens. For it to be that many women, regardless of the number.
Facts.
When we talk about DeShaun Watson's character, prior to this, what had you heard about DeShaun Watson's character?
Absolute facts.
Going all the way back to Clemson. Now, there's supposed to be some video out there of him dressing up as something or whatever it is he was doing with I mean, hey, when you got that kind of money and you living in that type of lifestyle or whatever it is, he ain't the only one we done seen do some crazy stuff. But again, absolutely. I'm talking about overall, before now, what had you heard about him? Nothing. How come none of this? Because to me, it seems like it went from 0 to 100.
Right.
Usually if you like driving the car, for instance, the speed dial gradually goes up. You know what I mean? You go to 25, 35, 45, 55. How you go from 0 to 100?
And where did the women come from?
That's what nobody's asking these questions.
Where'd they come from? How did they get his phone number? He met all of them on social media. Where did they have these massages? Where did this take place? Were the Texans facility, were they involved in any kind of way? Why did they settle a big lawsuit? What did the Texans do? Why did they pay the amount money? What
exactly?
Alleged
if DeShaun Watson is
if we're talking about justice and this is about women and the rights and this is terrible and women should boycott them, but are you boycotting the Houston Texans? Are you boycotting the NFL? Are you boycotting Hollywood? Are you boycotting cheerleading? Are you you just boycotting DeShaun Watson? He's the only one.
Yeah.
How come there's not a revolt against the owner of the Washington Commanders?
Who
is testifying before Congress, who is asked to testify and negotiates the conditions under which he testified. Think about this. The owner of the Washington Commanders negotiates with the NFL. He tells them, I'll testify when I get ready, where I get ready. I'll be on my yacht, wherever I want to be, out the reach of anything. Here's a man who it's alleged to have committed real crimes where there are real victims crying out for justice among the cheerleaders, among the staff. This is an owner. But no, let's talk about DeShaun Watson. Let ESPN and Fox and let's just talk about DeShaun Watson. He's a terrible person. He should be out of the league forever. Why? What team would take a player like this?
Yeah, I got a comment. I'm not going to show it on screen because again, obviously, you wasn't paying attention at the beginning of the show. I always say, if you're a person that's going to leave a question or comment that's indignant or ignorant in nature, it won't be seen on the screen. But in response to your comment, miss me with the racism and the profiling and the ignorance. This is what I'm talking about. the vitriol,
Yeah,
the vitriol surrounding this,
yes,
you can tell. I look at you and laugh. The person that just left that comment, I look at you and laugh because I can tell that you don't think you're not thinking for yourself.
facts.
Every thought that you have in regards to the situation comes from the programming, from the major networks. I guarantee you this person that left that comment, they ain't never read a book. And if they did, they probably couldn't even read Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham. I guarantee you, because at the end of the day, let's be real. The vitriol for this dude got a whole lot to do with what he looked like.
Absolutely. This is
got a whole lot to do with
it.
And he got $230 million.
Yes. And by the way, as I was telling you earlier, I spoke to a friend of mine who told me that's one element of it. He's certain. He's heard from his people that he's certain that his salary is one element of it, why the NFL is determined. Because they are angry at the Cleveland Browns for paying him that money and guaranteeing it, because many of the owners are angry at them because now that, as we know, raises the bar.
It's a ripple effect. Yeah, exactly. It's a domino effect.
They're
yeah,
also
right.
There's some franchises that are angry at the Browns management and want DeShaun punished as a part. So you got a whole lot of factors weighing in that don't have anything to do with justice, women, anything like that.
This comment we will show from my man Abdul Smith. He was commenting last week. Here we go with the people who comment that were hiding under a rock. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Well, we appreciate that all day, every day. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. At the end of the day, man, I had a guy. I saw a video once, and it actually kind of happened to me. I saw a video once. A guy was going around asking people, why do they hate black people? People was like, we don't know. That's just what we was taught. You get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
How ignorant are you? You don't even know why? I know why I don't like jalapenos. Might be a bad example, but you get what I'm trying to say? I know why the things I don't like, I know why I don't like them. You don't even know why?
Right.
But you're the first one to run to that television, TELLA vision, and then have the nerve to come back and then come to the group with that like you the one that came up with it.
Yes, sir.
Man, if you don't sit your bass awkward, don't down somewhere, man, get up out of here with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like you said, cut me in or cut me out.
Yeah, cut me in or cut it out. You get what I'm trying to tell you, man? These folks, man, they so what it is. It's a. All right, Snowman, what it do, baby? Man. What it do? I'll let the Snowman. It's Pavlovian. It's classical conditioning. The metronome and the dog. You get what I'm trying to say? And we know, and no disrespect to dogs. I love pets and so on and so forth. But, it's the reason why some people have cats. You know what I mean? Because most dogs, they eat their own anyway. You get what I'm trying to tell you? So, yeah, there's so much for that. But at the end of the day, what people are not looking at, and this is what we discussed Wednesday, the facts.
Facts.
See, fiction is not fact. The fact is, one of the ladies who was interviewed, the NFL or whomever it was, interviewed her son. To your point, Brother Rich, all of these other factors that are facts, because fact is in factor, nobody is factoring in. They're just focused in on him. So what does that say about you? You get what I'm trying to say?
How is he the focus of this? By himself. I'd say, okay, it may start. You want to put it on him that they started with him? How is he the only and sole focus of this?
Exactly.
Don't tell me you're focusing on the victims. The majority of them have settled. They didn't win any case in court. As a matter of fact, it's known that the FBI took a look at some of these cases and did not see anything there. These are facts.
I know it, but listen, bro, Rich, listen, but you can say that, you know why? Because you took the time to actually look at it.
Absolutely.
Most of the people in the public outcry, they instant gratification. They can't. Their attention spans is from here to the wall. You get what I'm talking? But they're the ones with the most to say.
Yes.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Man, come on, man. Cut me in or cut it out, man. Cut me in or cut it out. Yeah, the FBI took a look at it. The FBI took a look at it. Texas, and I'm going back to Texas and their history when it comes to convictions and so on and so forth. All you have to do is go watch that movie, The Banker.
Yes.
The Banker.
Absolute fact.
They don't play in Texas, man.
They play in Texas. They don't play.
They don't. But again, you know, we got another. Oh, my bad. We got another comment here. My bad, Snowman. There are people who just don't pay attention. Period. Absolutely. This is a society issue. This is way bigger than DeShaun Watson.
Right.
He won't be the first, and especially not the last.
Absolutely.
Systematic. Oh, wait, man. That's what I'm. Man. Shout out, Abdul. That's what I'm talking about. Absolute facts. Because again, if whatever DeShaun Watson did, like I said to the one guy, he said, "Oh, he's a criminal." 25 women. I said, "Well, what do that make Robert Kraft? What does that make Daniel Snyder, who was using his own cheerleaders paid for service?" And here's another question. This might not be apropos. I don't know, but I'm gonna throw it out here at you, Brother Rich. Well, we should be seeing all of this backlash and public outcry and all of that stuff if DeShaun Watson, and I don't like to use ifs. Let's say he was playing for the Las Vegas Raiders, because it's legal down there, ain't it?
Facts.
Whatever they do down there is legal.
Facts.
Okay.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas, right? But we're not crying about that because it's legal.
Facts.
Man, come on, man. You asinine. Whomever you may be, you asinine with your comments. Man, come on, man. There's no way in the world he should have got a 6-game suspension based on the league's. And I read, I'm not all of it, but I read a nice portion of the league's personal conduct policy. And that's what made me put up the post about criminals make all the rules. And it was a picture of a judge, and in front of the judge as a defendant was a bear. But on the back wall behind the judge was a bearskin rug. You get what I'm trying to say? Because if you read the personal conduct policy, of course he got to get something. Because it was written by folks who stuff stank too.
Right.
The criminals making all the rules, man. But all we looking at is DeShaun Watson. There's no way in the world he should have got a 6-game suspension, man. Right. Absolutely not. He shouldn't have got no 6-game suspension. And then the NFL talking about they're going to appeal it. Based on, I want to know what they're appealing it for. But they're doing this because of public outcry, bro. Rich.
That's all. That's all they're doing it for. That's all they're doing. Just because they fear the backlash that is already on them and that it may grow. But again, I said this to you before. There's a factor here that those of us who understand something about the Cleveland weather, there won't be any protests outside that stadium in January.
Yeah.
Won't be standing out there on the lake protesting. No. So this will blow away. But unfortunately for DeShaun, he's going to have this stigma attached to his name for the rest of his career. And unfortunately, whether or not he's exonerated, he will never be exonerated in a public court in the public sphere because all this mud has been thrown on his name by a mass
media. Already stuck.
Yes, yeah. And they don't go back and clean it up. They don't tell you the things that we say on this program. They're not going to tell you that the FBI looked at this. They're not going to tell you that the what kind of courts of law that Texas is known for, and that if you get exonerated in a Texas court, oh man, come on, California. You get exonerated.
That's a celebration across. That's like when Joe Lewis beat Max Schmeling, whoever it was. That was a victory for all of us across the country, so to speak. You know what I'm trying to say?
The FBI took a look at this because if there were, when you talking about that sheer number of women, the federal government is going to look at that because then there's a question of sex trafficking and this. So they're going to take up a case like that. They looked at it, investigated some of the women. Their stories did not hold up sufficiently under the light of day. Come on, man. Many of these women were not even professional masseuses. They weren't these were not even women who had they had no certifications, no skill set in this. They just had an opportunity to go offer whatever service they were offering to a professional athlete. And you're telling me, yes, if you're saying that he had some misconduct, come on, man. There's a lot of misconduct in the NFL. There's a lot of people supposed to be suspended. You can't
man,
who
you telling?
This weekend misconduct.
Yeah, that's why the backlash needs to be enforced by the Watson supporters to fight back. NFL needs to see the other side of it. Absolutely, man. I'm in total agreement with that.
Yes.
Absolutely. But here's the killer part. Remember now, let's revisit the whole Texas grand jury thing now. In Texas and all over this country. This is a justice system where you know how many guys have been wrongfully convicted of hearsay,
Facts.
planted evidence, especially in Texas.
Facts.
So that you go, if you understand what microfiche is, go to any library. Microfiche, they keep newspapers from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, and the 40s. You know, you can see articles of guys who were wrongfully convicted. Guys been in prison for 28 years, 35 years, 40, 50 years. Their whole life been in prison. Then finally find out that the guy was wrong because somebody lied, and and somebody didn't say, okay. And they didn't see nothing. They didn't find nothing. We're talking about the justice system that were wrongfully convicted, dude.
Facts.
They on record. Any court anywhere in America, I guarantee they got at least one case, if not hundreds of cases.
Facts.
Where dudes got convicted for less than or more than, however you want to put that. And in Texas, not one, but two Texas grand juries didn't find nothing. But in all of the yarn and all of the stuff being spit about this, not one person other than here. I don't watch the major networks no more. I don't. It's too
not in years and years and years.
Yeah, you can't even watch it with popcorn. You used to be able to watch it with popcorn. I can't even do that no more. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't tune in. So I don't know exactly what they're saying, but I do follow Twitter, and I get a few alternative news outlets and things of that nature come across my phone and whatnot. That's nobody saying that. I think I heard the Texans mentioned one time. The Texans settled. Why? If DeShaun Watson is guilty.
Facts.
To your point.
Facts.
What you settling for? If he's guilty. And then to TJ's point, he mentioned something. He said settling, even in the case of Watson, settling if he or whatever is not necessarily an admission of guilt.
Absolute facts.
People
settle cases all the time. That's a regular thing in America. So people settle cases all the time rather than go through the laborious nature of court cases and lawyer fees. And a lot of times it's easier for them to just settle, especially if they can afford to do it, especially if they understand that in many cases, that was the point of it anyway, to get a settlement. Facts. People do that all the time. Insurance companies, that's what it's called, a settlement. Are they wrong for settling? People settle. That's the nature of being sued. You either fight on and pay your lawyer and keep going to court, or you settle. And most people, most of the time, they settle. That's a fact.
And just, hypothetically, well, not even hypothetically, let me just throw this out here. Had one of those grand juries found what they found, he wouldn't even be playing football today, would he?
Not at all.
Ever again, you think?
Remember, not at all, ever again. Remember, this is why the NFL allegedly takes up to look at this, because allegedly there were so many women that the NFL wanted to look to see was he even fit to play in the league anymore. And initially they went into this investigation already there was going to be an indefinite suspension at the end of it. And that's why the conversation, if you recall, was initially surrounding he was going to be gone for at least a year. And that's why the Browns themselves orchestrated his contract that he would get low money on the first part of his deal, because they also anticipated, like they thought the league would suspend him for an entire year. When the matter is looked at by the judge, she again, as a judge, as a woman who sat on the bench, looks at it and says, no, there's not enough here to suspend him for a year or indefinitely, but I can justify 6 games. So you're telling me that she could only find 6 games based on whatever he's done, but you're ready to take his whole paycheck for this year and suspend him for a whole year and say he has to apply to come back to play in the NFL.
So it's a money grab.
This is what you call punitive. In the law of the court of justice, if there's justice again, this is punitive in nature, because you're going above and beyond. It's almost as though there's a vendetta here. I got to prove something to you that you, as I said,
set a precedent.
Absolute facts. Absolute facts. And that's why people are typing in, I didn't see it, of course, people will send in ignorant comments on responses to this, because we're not trained in America to listen to the other side and hear what the other side is saying. What kind of life does DeShaun Watson live that's different from your life, where he has to have women come in to give him massages because he don't feel he can go out and meet a regular woman in the club, or because he's afraid that somebody's going to have a night with him and sue him or have a baby with him? Or this is real things these athletes go through. Why they sometimes reach out in this way to contact women? Or you don't think these women have any plans? Some of the, not all of them, but unfortunately, too many of them have their own agenda, and they go to those young men looking for, as they say in the world today, the bag. This man is not guilty of a crime where he should be charged. Okay, correct his behavior, smack him on the wrist, give him 6 games if you want to do that because of the policy. He's agreed. He said, I can see that. His team has agreed. They have agreed to that. Now settle on that. That's the best part. Settle on that.
Yeah, you're trying to drive him into the ground.
Right.
You know what I mean? Break his arm, break his legs, you just want, you want to put him in a body cast.
There's those of us who believe he should have gotten no games because he sat out last year, and that should have been his punishment. He sat out last year under a cloud of suspicion that he had done something where the language was sexual assault. So now we don't even hear that language anymore. We're hearing conduct that violated the NFL policy. That's what we're hearing, because sexual assault is a crime. So you see, they can't use that kind of language like that legally, if you will. Some people, of course, are using it. But in terms of charging him, what are you charging him with? I keep asking, what did he do? Well, he already sat out a year. Okay, good. You got punished last year. Now go play football. Yeah,
because I haven't heard that either. What exactly are you? What exactly is the charge, if you would?
Correct.
What is there? When we talk about just and unjust, the movie The Great Debaters comes to mind. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it was talking about law. That closing scene at the debate podium between the little college, Wiley College, and I forget whatever college they were debating at the time. That's what it's about at the end of the day. Some people say, well, you can't do it, right, because it's the law. Okay, well, let's take it a step further. That's the manifest.
Right.
Does anybody ever take time anymore, Brother Rich, to look at the latent, to peel back the curtain, to open the hood, to dig down in the bag?
Not at all.
Because if you do that, then you're going to have to find yourself having to ask the question, well, yeah, it's the law, but the way the law is written, is the law just or unjust? Is the NFL's code of conduct policy just or unjust?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it looks like it was written to, boy, because I'm telling you, where I work at, boy, it's a whole lot of favoritism and nepotism. You get what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hold on. We got a Gully weighing in. All right, Gully. If you want to jump in, man, by all means, please do so. What he said, what's infuriating is that we are told to believe everything the women say about his behavior, but nothing about the part of the Texans supplying the NDAs.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. And the people who have the loudest voice or who are speaking the most, they're not saying any of that at all. The focus is solely on DeShaun Watson. But guess what, though? The media did their job. They propagate all of the isms. They done did their job. You are led like sheep. That's what when you tune into them shows. And then you come back regurgitating stuff that somebody else said. These thoughts that you coming out your mouth with and got all this, you taking a stance for what? You're taking a stance on something that ain't even what you think. What do you think? You can't think, not for yourself anyway. Yeah, I'm with you on that all day, every day, Gully. We're going to take a quick commercial break right quick, and we'll be right back. My man, Be Rich. Double J, Gully, if y'all want to join in while we take this 30-second break, please, by all means, do so. If not, then stay home and eat your 3 Musketeers and your Kit Kats or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't even care.
Buffalo Bills fans, you never know.
Cam, you watching the Shop Report.
Touch that dial. Stay tuned.
Braxton Kid, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
All right, indeed, we are back. I messed up. I added some new sounds here in my little keypad, and I messed up and didn't add the sound I needed to add for when we come back. But I'll make sure I correct that for the next go round. But at the end of the day, bro, Rich, going forward, the NFLPA, will they appeal the appeal?
Weakest union in sports, but they have to appeal the appeal. They have to fight for him. They have to do that. Weakest union in sports. And this is why.
But will they do so like a paid attorney or a public pretender?
Well, they act like a public pretender anyway. Their power is that of a public pretender. We know this already. This is why we call them the weakest union in sports. And so in their attempt to fight the appeal, we wonder whether or not, and this is what I believe DeShaun and his team will do, is they will put pressure, outside pressure, he has enough money to get his own outside attorneys to take a look at this and really fight back and sue the NFL if necessary, because this is unprecedented in the sense that, again, the NFL and the players union, this is why the players union has to fight for them, because they agreed to this independent arbiter. They asked for this. The NFL agreed. They agreed that they would abide by whatever came back. Now they're saying, no, Goodell wants to be able to do what he wants to do. Well, we don't have a collective bargaining agreement anymore.
That's what I'm asking you. What was the point of her? And she was a woman.
Facts.
I mean, so what was the point? I don't
understand. And a judge, not just a woman, a judge who has sat on the bench before, you see, and she knows the law. So here we are. What are they supposed to do? See, what is she supposed to do? Agree with the NFL or examine the facts as they came before her and make a decision, which she did. The NFL doesn't like it. They say, no, we're going to change that.
Yes, there was no point in having her in there in the first place. Gully's weighing in again. He said their hands are tied. This is the agreement that they sold their client to sign.
Yes, that's why I said the NFLPA is weak. They're terrible. Yes, they're terrible.
Okay, so going forward, then we already know everywhere he goes, because again, people can't think for themselves. He gonna get backlash, but for how long do you think?
Until the next person N-word tries to run and leave some plantation and they got to teach him a lesson, or till the next national crisis, or the next this, or the next that. You know, this is this unfortunate thing is that people have short attention spans. And the people that this is why they have programming. Right now, DeShaun Watson is the programming. All television shows must program the people. They go to the back room and the producer tells them, what we talking about today? We talking about this, that, there, and we talking about
it's called a gatekeeper.
Yes.
Gatekeeper. Yeah.
Yes, we're programming you to go out and program the audience and tell them what you're supposed to think about DeShaun Watson. And if anybody say anything opposite, you beat them down and tell them that they're a Putin lover and they hate women and they're this and they're that. Yeah. And that's what you do. And that's the programming. And that's why you can turn on any station. You're not missing anything when you don't watch those shows. You turn on any of those stations and they all saying the same thing. You go to Fox, you go to ESPN, you go to NBC, and all of them saying the same thing. They're parroting the same thing. All of them say the same thing about the vac thing. All of them say the same thing about COVID. All of them say the same thing about DeShaun Watson. All of them say the same thing about this one, that. All of them are programming the people to think one way. Go ahead, you ventriloquist dummies, and say what we tell you to say. And all of them go out there and say, no matter what their personal thoughts are, some of them, that's not their personal. They don't think like that, but because they have to do that, because they're enjoying their multi-million-dollar lifestyles, and they're not going to give that up for DeShaun Watson and his multi-million dollars. They're going to protect their own fiefdom, if you will. And I'm the big Negro at ESPN. Everybody has to come by me to do anything on ESPN. I can make you or break you, or so you think, on ESPN. I get to talk about you on ESPN. And that's why athletes are fighting back against them. And you hear people like Draymond Green talking about we're the new media, because they know the media don't love them. Those people don't care anything.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not.
And that's why you see that kind of pushback now.
Of course not. Gully, you want to weigh in on that?
In Buffalo.
Well, it's a little warm in Central Ohio here. I haven't made it to Buffalo just yet, Bree Rich, but I'm just saying, I think since she putting me into that box, man, I don't know. I think I'm liking what Josh Allen and those guys might be able to do this year, especially if we don't know if our beloved, our recently newly beloved quarterback DeShaun Watson may or may not play. So we're gonna see. Right. But I don't know if I commented just moments ago here that the NFLPA's hands are tied. Yeah, because because of the agreement that they signed. In the last.
You said NDA. You said NDAs.
No, not the NDA. No.
Okay, got you.
The appeals process.
Oh,
see, this is the agreement that they signed. They signed the agreement that, in certain circumstances, yes, they'd find an independent arbiter. Okay. But the NFL has the right to appeal the decision of that independent arbiter, which they're exercising their right. And the NFLPA has little recourse to I guess override that. I don't know. I mean, well, you could protest, you could stage a lockout, you can go that far, but I think those are the only options that you would have, assuming that you really wanted to fight the issue or fight the punishment that the NFL will now hand out. I mean, it was all just a shell game, It was a shell game. The NFL expected you to act. They feigned independent analysis. They feigned arbitration, and the judge who, according to her comments that I've recently been wise, she all but stated that she believes some misbehavior happened at a very severe level, but stopped short of saying it actually happened and decided to punt the punishment back to the NFL. See, this is all a game. It's all a shell game. And the facts of the matter are not going to be addressed because nobody wants to address them, because the fact is, when it came to an actual court of law, which this judge is a former judge, she wasn't acting in a legal capacity per se, but the courts of law, the grand juries, 2 of them that had women on them, could not find anything criminal.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it don't get no more clear cut than that. Let me read this comment right quick. From what I'm hearing, this guy who's running, DeMaurice Smith is his name, who's running the NFLPA, is getting $2.9 million a year. I could be wrong, but if that's the case, the athletes aren't getting represented correctly. Wow. Right. That's yeah, I mean, obviously, but we've said that on previous shows before. Absolutely. We talked about DeMaurice Smith. I think he's playing both sides. I think he playing for one side.
He played for the owners.
Okay, got you.
And the players know. They know. Remember, the last collective bargaining agreement was contentious for the NFL players. There were many issues, and as Gully was pointing out, this is one of the things that they didn't want to agree to, that they agreed to, that they ended up, that the NFLPA pushed them and nudged them towards agreeing to many things in their contract they took, that all the NFL players will tell you. They envy the NBA players. They envy the kind of relationship they appear, and I'll use that word, appear to have with their owners, because they know in the NBA who the power is. The NFL has yet to relinquish the power that is theirs. It belongs to the owners, and they treat these players like cattle, and they act accordingly. And the union feels like, oh, what are we supposed to do? The boss says so. Because why? Because they know that they're so easily replaceable. They can get injured. They go at one time it was, we can get anybody out here to come and do so and so. Now, the more that these positions are becoming specialized, and you have young people playing this position from they were younger, so you have specialized this and special. Now, the college programs are like the prep schools for
Oh, the farm.
They're the farm
system.
So they're playing on. So now the players are coming into more and more of themselves and understanding they are the talent. They bring something to the field every Sunday when they go out there. But they're still a long way off from their NBA players, and their union acts accordingly on the behest of the owners, and they don't act like management or support staff for the players, except on those circumstances and situation where they can see they can get a clear victory, where the thing is so egregious. But in things like this, it's like Gully said, they've agreed to this kind of thing and tied the hands of the players. So DeShaun is left to do what? Sue the NFL outside of that organization and sue him personally as an individual because they're threatening his livelihood, well, there are many people who are saying he might just do that.
You know what? Let me throw this out to you, Gully, and then Brother Rich, you can weigh in on this too. Is there, because I'm not familiar with it to this extent, but how do the players oust DeMaurice Smith? Is there a way, Gully?
Type
of deal.
I would imagine. Yeah, I think he wasn't given that position by the NFL in the way that like Roger Goodell is the owner's appointed person in that capacity. I believe he was voted by the players. So he must have said something really good.
He was.
Yeah, so definitely, I think the NFL is watching this, or the players are watching this to see how, in fact, he's going to handle this situation. And his career, in this stage of his career, is definitely in jeopardy because they need to see that no matter how bad the deal is, that you get us out of this because you sold us this bill of goods. You sold us this. It was the best option. This was the best CBA that we could have, and this was the way that for us to get what we could, and to move forward. When we were all worried about our careers and the monies that we get in the revenue. This was the deal you sold. So now fix this situation. Again, the biggest part about it is the fact there's nothing actually criminal. So see, when we look at Greg Hardy's situation, or we look at even Ray Rice's situation, we can see something criminal took place.
Gotcha.
In this case, that hasn't, because it's already been through the courts. Matter of fact, even in Ezekiel Elliott's situation, look how they had him handle that, and that was already probably something that the players watch closely. Like, you made this man have to sit out when the facts bore out. He didn't do anything wrong. He really didn't do anything wrong. Not even on a level. It wasn't even a case of to compare the two situations between Mr. Elliott and Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson could say, like I've said before, maybe exercise some poor judgment. Maybe he didn't understand signals, if you will. But that's not a criminal. In Ezekiel Elliott's case, the criminal act was actually by the alleged victim. And he still had to sit out because of that.
Yeah, right. He got 6 games for that, didn't he?
Yeah, he still had to sit out because of that. They said, it's better to just sit out and then you can continue on with your career. Better to act like you guilty just cause it makes everybody feel better.
So that's what I don't understand, man. Well, I do understand. But they putting rules out. What's the point of having the rules, man, if you're basing the rules off what other people think, what the public think?
Well,
the NFL is trying to get women as a stronger part of their fan base. The game is growing, and they're growing it internationally, and they don't want the backlash from their women fan base who are becoming more and more involved with the game. And they got girls play football, and they're trying to grow it some more. And they want the mothers to keep putting their sons in football. And so they feel, now here's our opportunity to sacrifice a Negro who we don't care about anyway, and use him to make a bigger point and sell more jerseys for the Dallas Cowboys, your team, and the Buffalo Bills, your team. But this is the truth.
I applaud your ability. Man, it's masterful. Your ability to throw levity into that statement. You are making a profoundly statement about a very serious matter.
Exactly. You know what I'm trying to say?
And then he threw it in. I mean, hey, listen, you got to get, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, that's the one where you kind of take that on the chin. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But you know what's interesting? He come in here wearing a Browns hat, a Clippers jersey, and Detroit Red Wings socks. You know what I'm trying to tell you? I don't get it, man. I don't know what we're doing here on this program. I really don't understand, man. It's unbelievable to me.
I don't have one thing. I'm not no one thing.
What?
I'm never one thing.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Unless when it comes to Kobe, but I get it. I understand that.
Facts.
But at the end of the day, man, I'm wondering if DeMaurice was sitting down with whoever the players reps, because each team has a rep, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when they was going over that part of the CBA, the part where it said, we're going to get an independent arbiter. Am I saying that right?
Yes, sir.
But Goodell could, if he wanted to, he could override the up Gully. We appreciate you joining us right there. Yeah, he left me a private message. He left me a message in the private chat. Yeah. He said he is outside. Okay, obviously he's gonna go inside. He said it's starting to rain. All right. Yep. We'll get back. We'll let you back in here. Let me see here. We got another comment. What I'm seeing for the future players is not looking good for the next one, because this is setting it up for whatever is done, little to big. Anyone can possibly be suspended indefinitely, etc. Yeah, that's another great comment. Yeah.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. This is serious. This is crazy. That's why I'm saying, what are you suspending? If they let this go and they suspend this man for a year, then you're talking about he's missed 2 years of football. 2. For something that he was not found guilty of in a court of law. What are you talking about here? Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it'll blow up on him at some point, Brother Rich? Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I'm talking about the NFL. Oh, without a doubt. It's already blowing up. Yeah, because you can't, it's no way in the world. There's no way in the world you can isolate him and avoid the inclusion of Kraft and Snyder. Look, here's the issue. The reality is, I hate to say it like this, but I'm going to say it exactly like this. Most fans don't care. They're made to care. Okay, most fans do not care. They just want football season to start. But as this is holding the attention of football fans, and you're being asked to go, but most fans do not care. The ones who do care, they've already decided. Some people, they swallow everything the mass media is giving them, and in their minds, DeShaun Watson is guilty. And then there are others who are not plugged into what you call the matrix or whatever you want to call it, who are not mass media, who don't feed off the mass media. And like some people have made their own decisions. Yes, and some of those people who made their own decisions believe that this young man is not guilty. They don't have the platforms like the mass media to spread what their point of view is. Nevertheless, it remains that the masses of the people, because remember now, we're not talking about platforms that we can no longer say everybody watches ESPN. These shows are pulling in maybe a few 100,000 people per episode. You have shows on YouTube that get more than that. And we're not talking about people who have the masses of the people anymore. However, they have the segment of the people that they have. And the segment of the people that they have are committed to whatever this one says or that one says, if they like this one or they agree with Fox or they agree with ESPN, and they go with that. And they take, because you are what you eat. And if you're eating this kind of information, you build up a toxicity for truth. Because all you have in you is the swill and the filth that comes down from these black, and I'm going to say that what it is, black, male, rich, multi-million-dollar hating people. They hate these athletes. They talked about Jamel Hill, who I'm not a fan of, talked about recently how her politics, I should say, not her, but her politics. Jamel Hill recently said that ESPN is a conservative work environment. That the work environment is very MAGA, very Trumpian. Their view, many of them, not all, but many of them, their view is very conservative. And they don't view these athletes with a healthy respect. They're forced to work with them. It is not a coincidence that ESPN, if you know where it's set up in rural Connecticut. Yeah. In some, they have now, of course, because of the growth and the expansion of it and who they are. They have places in these LA, but they didn't start out like that. They started out with a conservative bent. And to some extent, not to some extent, to a large extent, the talent is what you call liberal, but the management and the ownership and the decision makers are conservative. They have conservative point of view. So they will hire somebody who will get on air, who will sound like a buffoon, who will make antics over themselves, who will clown if it's the modern day minstrel show. And we just are happy because we're looking at a black man or a black woman. Women are calling basketball now. And we're so happy because we included it's a black man on ESPN. It's a black man on Fox. And, we're so happy this one and
There's no depth or substance to what we're looking at.
To what
it's just topical.
And what they're not saying, and we don't understand the degree to which these people are programmed to take us off a path and lead us down a way where they want us thinking like the people that hired them want us to think. And that is to think that every young black athlete is a terrible person. We don't hear much about the Grant Hills of the world and this one and all of these great, the Chris Paul and who he really is and what these athletes are really doing, what kind of beautiful families they come from, what kind of beautiful families they have. We don't hear those stories. All we hear about is when an athlete goes out and gets drunk and gets in an accident.
Speeding,
Yes. And then we in a country where people are making billions of dollars, we have somebody telling us on TV, stay off the weed. But it's only when it comes to a black athlete. This is ridiculous, man.
And I'm kind of surprised.
Listen to that and take that as your guide. I would advise you not to do that.
Yeah, well, I don't do that. I definitely don't do that.
No, I know you don't do that. I'm talking
and I don't. You talking about in general, I mean, and I don't pat myself on the back or nothing, but when I hear, and that's in large part why I don't watch it anymore. Right. I'm a journalism major. This is what I went to college for. And listen, and to be real, remember I told you a long time ago, bro, Rich, my grandfather taught me when you're dealing with people out in this world, the first thing you want to understand is a person's character, not their color.
Right.
I had college professors who are Caucasian, and they said, we will not substitute real reality for television reality in this classroom. Yeah. I said, okay, yeah, I see why I'm sitting in the front now, because this dude is going to give it to you straight. He's going to tell it the truth. He said, because you got to understand, a lot of times the audience, what does it say about your audience that they're willing to just readily accept the propaganda? You get what I'm trying to tell you? And hey, think what you want to think. Do what you want to do and do it the way you want to do it. But don't come to me with it. This is what bothers me. They come to me, man, you a hater, man. Hey, man, go back over there to the water cooler, man, with the Kool-Aid in it. Okay, go on back over there. You know what I'm saying? Because over here, hey, we're not about to do that. We got another comment. Let's see what this comment is talking about. Hold on here. Do you guys think because Haslam offered D. Watson the contract, the way they constructed that they're coming after Brown's organization as well? Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's no question.
Absolutely.
It's no question. It's no question, man. Because and to Brother Richard's point a little earlier, they gave him that. That's really kind of like what unprecedented. And again, unprecedented for a dude of that look like him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying, for a dude to look like him. Okay. So once they gave him that money, it was a lot of owners like, oh man, I can't believe now we got to pay Lamar Jackson. And he come out on the screen with the teeth talking about some, pay me the money or something. You know that the gold teeth or whatever it is. See, now the Browns set the bar.
Right.
The Browns set the bar and then put all the other owners on notice.
And what are they going to have to pay Patrick Mahomes when his contract comes up?
Exactly, and he already got a nice piece of change.
Yeah, but that's going to run out. That will be void in a few years based on this, because now you got to pay me more because there's more of revenue coming in, and I want a new contract. And how long before a player like him is able to say, "I need a new contract. Because now this is $250 million." Right. But what nobody again talks about is, and I know we have the contracts, the way they're structured and why, and understand that. Nevertheless, let's look at the fact that they're angry that this man got $250 million to play his game, which he's very good at.
$530 million extension.
I believe that, Yeah. But you're not angry that the owner has billions of dollars that's in his personal wealth, and that the team, like your Dallas Cowboys, is reported to be valued at $7 billion as an entity. Nobody's angry at the owners for having that kind of wealth and the teams being that valuable, but you're angry at DeShaun Watson because he got a good contract for a sport that at any moment could cripple him for the rest of his life.
Oh, of course, because it goes back to that classical conditioning, that Pavlovian. We're going to make you look at the player and have vitriol and vilify the player for why his, because that's all these on these sports pages and stuff, and these Facebooks and all of that. That's all they discuss is this guy worth however much money he got. But I've said that before. I've said this to people before too. The owners, most owners who own professional sports franchises, that's like me and you going to buy our kids toys.
Absolutely.
That's just a toy for them. But you're right. The idea and the vision has been steered towards, well, let's look at the player. He ain't worth that, because you're measuring what he do in his market to what you do at 7-Eleven. It's not the same. You know, you can't look at it that way.
Not the same.
It's not the same. And you got to look at by NFL quarterback standards. Yeah, he worth it. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Yeah, he worth it. You know, it was years ago when Josh Cribbs played for the Browns, and it was at a time where he was the only reason why folks went to the stadium. I'm just telling you, okay? He was the only, if you went to see the Browns, it was because you was going to see Josh Cribbs. I'm just telling you. But the media in Cleveland, it was around the time he was due for some money or contract. And I remember he was a free agent. So everything he got, he had to earn it off the rip. He wasn't no number 1 draft pick, top first round pick, second round. He wasn't none of that. He was undrafted, if I remember correctly. And the country was in a recession at the time. So the media here, they loved Josh Cribbs until it came time for him to get paid. So they used it, you know, and that's what writers do. They real crafty with words. That's why I'm telling people, pay attention to verbiage. You know what I mean? Because words, remember how we talk about expressions? You know, with age comes wisdom versus with age should come wisdom. That changes the whole connotation. You put that word in, it changes the whole connotation of that expression. So the articles they were writing in the Plain Dealer was trying to say, oh, well, Josh is, he the reason why we going to see him, but he really ain't worth what he asking for. He really shouldn't get paid right now because the country is in a recession. Man, listen here. I looked it up. That whatever that year was, forgive me, I don't remember the year, but during that time, the NFL, they didn't make what they were used to making. Let's say they were used to making $11 billion a year, whatever it was. But because of the recession, they were down to $6 billion a year. You're still in the green, man. You get what I'm trying to say? And it was a couple of writers who I know. They don't reach out to me no more because I called them out on it. I said, man, stop trying to steer the viewer or the reader's mindset so that they can, you know, have some, I don't want to say it's not preconceived. In other words, you're making them think a certain way about Josh Cribbs based on what you're writing and the way you're writing it.
Yes.
Let me say it that way. Now all of a sudden, well, we're gonna look at Josh, the fans gonna look at Josh Cribbs a little different, like he being greedy or something like that, because we in a recession. Hey, a recession ain't a recession for the NFL like it's a recession for guys who work at the United States Postal Service. Right. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Right. And that's how they was trying to write it. Like the NFL's on the same level as the post office. Man, miss me with that garbage. Right. No, they still were in the green. They could have paid that dude whatever he was asking for, man. That ain't even fuel for their yachts, man. Get on up out here. Like, and for you to try to write that about him before this recession, the things that you wrote about him was so glowing and kumbaya. Now all of a sudden you're gonna write it in such a way where, yeah, you know, he really don't deserve it, man. Get up out of here with that crap, man. We got another comment come up in here. Let's see what we got here. Same thing happened to Hunt today. He was pissed at practice. Yeah, and that's another thing, man. Kareem Hunt asked for a trade, man. Browns told him no.
Again, he plays a position that they see in the NFL as a dime a dozen. This has been the trend for the last several years, that all the people are looking at it like that and seeing it like that, that all the teams see the running back position as the most expendable of the important roles on the team. And this is why, even in your Dallas Cowboys, there's questions about whether or not what Zeke will do this year that will justify this massive contract that you all gave him. The people want to know, is he going to... What
do you mean, you all? I ain't giving him that. What you mean? I'm not no Cowboys fan.
Your fan base justified his contract. You know, your fan base justified his contract. And so now the question is Kareem Hunt, are as best he is behind him? Now, he certainly, and most people would say, are you crazy? He's in the prime of his career. But in the NFL,
yeah, because he missed a year. He missed another year or two. He missed about a year or two, whatever situation he was going through too. So yeah,
yes,
he's still somewhat fresh.
Yes, and they're looking at him now. Okay, well now they're making him quote unquote prove it again. I would give him the money. You and I would do it. I like the Browns. I'm a fan. I want to see him continue to keep the cohesiveness that they've had for the last several years and build on that this year and do what we anticipate they're about to do. Nevertheless, this has to be cleared out. And so, unfortunately, they're doing this at the position that in the NFL, they see it as the most expendable of the good positions because they know that some running back is coming out of Alabama next year that will be some phenom again, and somebody coming out of this school. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. And it's
terrible. Unless it's the players saying it's a business.
Yes.
See, the players can't say that.
No, not at all.
But the
owners,
which
is why I commend NBA players and LeBron in particular for teaching players their power and empowering the players like never before in the NBA. You got to thank him. You got to appreciate him.
No, I don't take nothing away from him in that regard. He got, but it was a trickle down effect in that regard too. Now I'm gonna set aside my disdain for him as a player. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna set that aside, right? Anybody that's watching this P program, they understand. I mean, I'll stand on that. Okay, I got plenty of evidence. Okay, all right. But anyway, yeah, at the end of the day, I applaud him in particular because he changed the mindset of the athlete, not just in basketball. A lot of NFL players, and you look across the landscape, a lot of folks are like, wait a minute, I'm my own entity.
Facts.
What you mean? Matter of fact, who was it? Well, he did it before LeBron, which I thought was very commendable. And we talked about it on the show too. Ray Allen.
Yes.
When Ray Allen got to see, that's what good upbringing do. You know what I'm saying? Parents who did not see, you don't have to necessarily go to Yale or Cornell or Howard even. And I don't knock them institutions or Ohio State or Wisconsin, whatever it is, North Carolina, whatever school you went to. But education goes beyond the four walls of an institution. His parents, from my understanding, were very well read.
Absolute fact.
Okay. And they passed that down to him. I told y'all, man, my mother got a program called Readers Make Leaders. I mean, and kids, for the most part, do well in school just from reading type of deal. So when it came time for him to get an agent, Ray Allen, he was like, for what? What I'm going to give him a third for when I can read he said, what I'll do is I'll hire an attorney.
That's what he did. From
a legal standpoint. He said, but I'll read my own contract, and he hired Johnny Cochran. You know how much money he saved?
That's right.
Jaylen Brown did the same thing for the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't hire an agent. See what I'm trying to tell you? Hey, man. But
now the league doesn't like that.
Brother Rich, you just snatched the words out of my mouth. Unbelievable, man. You on the road. Man, where's Double J at? Where's your buddy? And TJ, you know what I'm trying to say? Because you sound like Double J right now. You really do. Yeah, they don't like that. I was gonna say there needs to be more of that.
Right.
There needs to be more of that. What am I paying you for? What am I paying you for? When I can do it myself. Now, there's some things that need to be paid for, you know what I mean, that I need to pay somebody for. But when it comes to reading and understanding what I read, oh, you mean to tell me, no, if I don't play a certain number of games, that's X amount of millions I don't get? Hey, Johnny, from a legal standpoint, what's the ramifications? Oh, really? Oh, X, Y, and Z? Okay, yeah, nah, we ain't doing that. Go tear that up and redo that and then come back and holler at me.
Facts.
At the end of the day. But again, conditioned. Most athletes are conditioned. You get an agent because why? That's how they've been doing it. And this is the way to do it because, again, that's how they've been doing it. Nah, man. Come on, bro. Yeah, I get it. The running back position is expendable. But if that man asks for a trade, let him out. Let him out. What you holding him for? And the Browns didn't say, well, we'll think about it maybe. And they didn't go into no long dissertation or no diatribe either. They was like, no, emphatic, no. But that's control, right? Cattle. Commodity.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to see how does the DeShaun Watson thing play out. Brother Rich, do you think he'll play the season?
Absolutely, I think he's going to play.
Because he's definitely going to.
I think that he's going to threaten to sue the NFL. I think he's going to threaten to make this ugly. There's some corners that say he could make this very ugly for the NFL if he chooses to do that. However, the NFL, it's alleged, has the card where they will make it hard for him in terms of the future. You know,
that's what I was getting ready to say. Because if he sues them, if he sues them, then what does that say? Can he win? Oh, look who decided. Oh, wow, look who decided to join us. Oh, yeah,
that was Giselle.
Yeah, Double J. Yeah, I will give you an intro, but nah, you don't deserve it.
How was the race?
I took Chase Elliott's car back, and that's why it took so long.
Okay,
he was just dismal. But yeah, otherwise, no.
What do you mean you took Chase Elliott's car back? You drove it?
No, I mean I'm saying, just what would that metaphorically speaking, because he was. Oh, yeah, he finished I think 11th, but typically spent the day in 20th or so. Like it was just
okay. I got you. Yeah, it was a bad day for him.
Yeah,
was it engine problems, tire problems?
I heard that from what I could see that he scraped the wall, and then after that his aerodynamics were off.
Yeah. That's frame damage then maybe if he scraped it bad enough. Yeah. Did you have some Lucia? Looked like you had a little Lucia. You look.
Oh, you didn't need much in 90-degree heat.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, I mean, get your stabilizers ready. We need.
The heat wave is in the Midwest too. Y'all have Lucia in Michigan too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh. We had it here, bro, Rich.
Oh man, I talked to my people in New York, and man, it's all across the country right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Global warming is for real, baby. All you got to do is look at them icebergs. They melting like, and man. Side note, right quick. There's been a lot of encounters with folks in water and whales lately. Have y'all been seeing that?
Hey, the waters is getting different.
I'm serious. Humpback whales swallowed 2 ladies and spit them out. Then another whale came up out of the water all of a sudden and smashed the bow of a boat, man. Hey, man. Hey.
Well, come on. Look, not to be too judgmental here, but
boy, here we go.
I don't. Is anyone on this program going to be kind of swimming with the whales here?
No.
You and Brother Rich?
No.
My buddy.
I'm not going to ocean. I'm going
y'all
to not a dinghy.
Y'all the only ones that got that kind of money.
Stop it.
You know what I'm saying? This EBT cars over here, baby. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm scraping up. I'm trying to get bread and bologna.
No.
I don't know what y'all talking about. Shoot, while you're playing, we got another comment coming in. Abdul Smith says, "Why would the Browns deny Hunt a contract? Hasn't he proven himself?"
Absolutely, he has. But they denied the contract because they see that as an expendable position. They have two. They have 2, and they believe they have more in the wing.
Yeah, like I said, when the NFL do it.
Up and somebody's gonna get cut, and we're gonna pick up one that got more mileage on him, and we're gonna sign him for less. And that's unfortunately what's happening. Because remember now, they've given DeShaun a quarter of $1 billion. That doesn't mean they're not gonna try to save some with the others. Now they gonna everybody else is not getting a $250 million. Some people have lost money because of DeShaun Watson getting that kind of contract.
Hey, like I said. When the player coming to the office and say we need to have a sit down, it's a business. They say, man, get out of here.
Fact.
Go get your pads and hit the field. When the owner come and sit in that same office, say, come sit down. What we need to have is, son, it's a business. We're cutting you today. You know what I'm trying to tell you, man. Come on, man. The players don't have no. Hey, and at the end of the day, it just takes me back. He said, okay, I see. It takes me back to Sterling Sharp. He was due for some money. And Brett Favre, man. And that's another thing I don't like.
I don't know that. So what happened with that?
With Sterling Sharp?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just briefly, right quick, so we can get into our the rest of our divisional stuff. I don't remember the full details, but just the gist of it was Sterling was up for a contract. And like the media did what the media does. They caused confusion and misconstrusion. You get what I'm saying? They paint a picture.
Yes.
So, and they do that by, let's say me, you, Double J play for the Browns. Okay. I'm in a situation in regards to my contract or whatever the case may be. So they'll come and ask me, and I give them a Marshawn Lynch type answer. You know, the chickens and the coop and the whole type of deal. Okay. But then what they'll also do is come and they'll ask you, what you think about BSJ not wanting to do, and they ask Double J. You get what you think about him, and then the way they worded, what you think about him defrauding the team, or or not want to play, or abandoning the team, or betraying the team. You know, they say stuff like that. They put they put you on the spot, but not many. It should be more. A few. They say, man, go ask that guy. What are you asking me for? Why are you asking me about his money?
Facts.
That's you see what I'm saying? That's what I would do. Don't ask me about Brother Rich's money. Don't ask me about Double J's situation. You know, he got caught DUI, whatever. I'm just Lucia, Double J. No, yeah, you know what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I'll give myself
You're terrible. You are terrible.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And don't ask us about you and Mr. Jones. Y'all down.
I knew that was coming.
Yep. Oh my.
Yeah, that's
you and New Buttons are terrible.
Yeah, that's exactly where that one went. Exactly. Yeah, y'all. I'm telling you, I got buttons over here. I'll be switching them up some more. I'll be switching a few of them up some more for next week. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, and here's a hypothetical. Let's say he played first game of the season and the Browns get to Super Bowl. What does that then say about this narrative surrounding this whole situation?
Fact.
Does it die down quicker? Does it die down, period? Or does it still have the same legs?
Well, here's an embarrassing thought for you to consider.
Okay, go ahead,
imagine Goodell having to present the Lombardi to a quarterback that he tried to suspend at the beginning of the year. And remember, in the NFL, there's a precedent for that, because that's what happened with Tom Brady. Remember, they were trying to suspend him, and they won the Super Bowl, and Goodell had to hand them the trophy. Yes.
Yeah, and then Tom handed him that crow. Well, go ahead, Double J.
Did you see the Adam Sandler had another movie come out? He's had two good ones. With this one was Kevin James, and Kevin James was playing Sean Payton, and that year that he got suspended. Well, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because in this hypothetical, of course, the Saints had just won the Super Bowl, and it shows. I want to say one of the announcers was handing him the trophy. And he goes, I believed you guys, we're capable of doing this all along. And he goes, I don't remember you saying that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He goes, I did in my house. And it was just very, it was that truthful but awkwardness.
Exactly.
Who's the Hello Friends guy? That, he's legendary, but that announcer.
And you can see something like this happen. I don't know who you're talking about. Well, I don't remember. I know who you're talking about.
From the Masters.
I can't recall it.
Hello, friends.
Come
on. There's got to be somebody out there in TV land knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine that. Yeah. Hold on. He got another comment. D. Watson, laugh aloud, getting the Lombardi. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Wouldn't that
be crazy for the NFL that they got to present this man with the Lombardi and they trying to suspend him because everybody knows every piece is in place. And they've changed the one piece that the Browns were ready last year, just didn't have that little crown at the top. And not your grandfather's Browns. I'm talking about these modern Browns. They just didn't have the little crown at the top to put there. And we got that now in DeShaun. Ultimate.
Oh, my. This thing. Did you record that at home?
No, I didn't. Oh, wow. So disrespectful. So disrespectful. Hey, don't worry about the buttons I got over here. Yeah.
This
is what are you gonna say?
What I was going to point out too. What about last year seemed to get swept under the rug quite a bit. Like somebody has to refresh my memory. Was that like a voluntary? I'm going to sit out.
That's what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. Double J, your screen froze, but we can still hear you. Yeah, that's
Anybody?
what TJ was saying the other day. Remember? Oh, you back. Yeah, that's what TJ was saying the other day. Remember? We were on the show.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier today.
Yeah.
The man has already been suspended for a whole year last year. Are we negating the fact that he missed an entire year of football? This is crazy. That now they want him to sit out another year. So he would have effectively missed 2 years in the prime of his life in terms of being a football player. Not his lifelong, but these are the prime years for him to play at the peak of his football abilities. You're going to tell this young man he has to sit out for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, because they definitely going for an indefinite suspension.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, they definitely going for that. But, I mean, he's supposed to sue him. But guess what, though? Keep playing with fire. I know the shield is a big deal. I get it. It's been around for a long time. Remember, we talked about that since the 1920s. I mentioned that book the previous show called The League.
Yes.
The league's, the NFL's inception in the 1920s with George Halas and Wellington Mara, the Giants, great-great-grandfathers and all of them folks or whatever, and George Marshall. Believe me, you read that book, boy, you'll really understand. It gives you an in-depth look at what we're seeing today in totality, when it comes to the NFL.
And I know your grandfather was there with the founding of the Browns. So, I mean, is he in the book?
Oh, hell no.
I mean, it's somebody watching this show, man. I mean, they're going to really, oh my gosh. Yeah. Hey, man, listen, don't knock the fact that the Browns won. That's the only time the Browns won a championship. The NFL. The Browns won a Super Bowl. It's the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Super Bowl, it's a championship, right?
Okay, so why is it a bad thing when I say it? That's all I was saying.
No, you saying Grandpappy's Browns. Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just it's Super Bowl or bust. That's all I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, man, you go all the way back, and you'll see, you'll really get a full understanding of what's going on right now. I would love to see them do it, man. I really would. I'd love to see them do it. We got another comment coming in here. Hold on, what is it saying here? What's up with the Houston Texans not wanting to play D. Watson this year? People on some suspect stuff, if that's true.
Facts.
Yeah. I don't know, bro, Rich. I go back to the Texans though. You understand?
Well, what was last year? That's what I'm like. Literally, I need an answer to that because I remember they had the contract dispute, and then all this stuff came right out of the woodwork, coincidentally, and then all of a sudden he sat out the year. Was that, hey, you're indefinitely suspended? Because if that were the case, then there
by
should
default, maybe.
Well, no, but that's my point. Goodell's done that in the past with indefinite suspensions, and then he makes a ruling. I think even with Brady as an example, he had already sat out a game or two, and then it was like a 4-game suspension or 6, whatever it was. And like you said, the awkwardness of him ultimately winning the Super Bowl that following year. But so we've seen this before. But if that one was just DeShaun as a sign of good faith or goodwill to sit out on his own, if this situation tells us anything, it would be if you're a player, never do that again. Because if he did it entirely on his own,
voluntarily,
yes, the league didn't have him listed as indefinitely suspended or something along those lines. Somebody's got to dig that up to figure this out. Because if Rodgers going to appoint this other dude,
I believe that was a team decision for the Texans. That came based on that.
So then was he paid last season?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know that.
Because see, now this is what I mean about this is so much deeper than camera's off. This is a lot deeper than
but see, that's what I was alluding to. I'm saying I know the NFL has been around and I know the shield is established and so on and so forth, but you keep playing with fire, you're gonna get burnt.
Facts.
Well, and that's why
you can't keep doing what you've been doing. At some point, if what you're doing is uncopacetic, then the law of averages say what?
But this is why this, as I stated last week or Wednesday, that this was the perfect set of circumstances where the league themselves could not resist to overstep their bounds and to be this executioner on top of judge and jury. Because again, so if there's one thing I'll give D. Smith credit for is actually getting this in place, because what it does is for somebody that is a company man,
we're getting what in place exactly?
This where it was supposed to be a neutral arbitrator.
Oh.
Because believe me, the league was never going to do that unless the players and were like, "Hey, we're not giving this up." Remember, I was already ticked off about this deal because they signed it a week before the TV deal was announced. No way would I be doing anything, and that's how there's no way. I don't care if you made $5 last season. I will pay for your chicken nuggets and soda because that's all you could afford anyway. While you're acting like you're
giving credit, but see, but the credit that you're giving him, I get it in that instance, but it's got to be $1 on the string then. Because you're giving him.
Again,
no, you don't. Would you give him credit for implementing that? But at the same time, in that same deal,
he took it out of his hands, Jay. Being a company guy, he said, "Look, I'm going to give them this one thing. That way, if the league decides to actually, essentially, step on their own feet, I didn't have to be the bad guy. They don't have to be mad at me."
Yeah, but they're gonna be.
No, of course not.
You don't?
How could they be mad at him? Remember, it was the players that wanted this thing. He didn't. He was just in the middle. I represent them, right? And I'm
but did he ever point out to the? But that's what I'm asking. Did he ever? And I don't know the details. That's what I'm asking. Did he ever point out to the players like, "Hey, look, if you, okay, yeah, we can get an independent arbitrator for future cases or future references or whatever, but it also says here that the league can overstep that if they so choose."
Well, sure.
Did the players know that part as well?
Of course, but that's where the NFLPA sues, because you broke your own rule that we mutually agreed upon. You broke the contract.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
okay.
And that's what I mean. Now you can't be mad at D. Smith, meaning both the players and the owners, because I was just in the middle. I did this thing. I never told you guys to go and break. You know what I mean? That there was going to be.
That's why I think that's why I think as staunch as the Shield is, I just think in this case they didn't cut their nose off to spite their face.
Big time. But here was the caveat to your point a little earlier. What was the dollar on the string was the fact that, hey, owners, if you give them this thing, which is very important to them, we can get this done now. And when you announce that the TV revenue is going to double in a week, because that's what you guys are talking about. Again, that wasn't public information. That would have been just amongst those in the room, but certainly would have been very noteworthy if you're the representation of the players. If you give them this, you'll get more of that, which is always what motivates the ownership, which is money. Now, again, remember,
it didn't blinded them in this case.
Correct. So this is going to continue, but here's again, ultimately the larger problem will always remain with the players being deemed the face of these franchises. Remember, you said it yourself earlier in the show, because I was listening, that the franchise itself was worth $7 billion, and you pointed out how these are toys. What you needed, I showed you guys in the group chat what these owners were making this year alone, which was exactly the valuation or greater than what their teams are worth.
Yeah, I saw the list.
So my point is, this when the general public ever hears about funds being thrown around, or somebody's, they're a bunch of crybaby overpaid. You want to talk about crybaby overpaid? Point to the owners, and it should always be
Brother
owners.
Richard. Yeah,
because these are not even. This isn't even like you're arguing apples to apple seeds at this point. It's not even remotely close.
But they are most fan bases are geared or conditioned to look at the player. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Always blame the player. They're not looking at
because historically we've never had owners that were visible, right? They were, for the most part, you had a Jerry Jones, but again, we're talking about like we could pick one from nearly each big 3 or 4 sports franchise.
I think the NFLPA should double down on the back of the Flores case. That way it can possibly dent the so-called shield. That's a good point too.
Facts.
Yeah.
But again, the NFLPA doesn't represent the coaches. Do they?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. But no, at the end of the day, though, the NFL by appealing this, you didn't opened up a vortex. Snyder gonna get lumped in, Kraft gonna have to get snatched back in, Jerry Jones gonna get snatched in, the whole Flores case gonna get the Stephen Ross. So you done sucked all that in when that's not what you just wanted to get this part right here. It's like you vacuuming the floor and you done caught some up in the vacuum. Now you gotta cut it off and now you gotta take it apart because you didn't mean to get. That's what's getting ready to happen here.
Remember, look what happened. Look how much damage has been. What would you call that? Something damage, collateral damage.
Collateral damage. Yep.
As it pertains to Dan Snyder. Remember, John Gruden is now like exiled from the NFL. They don't even like even in NFL films now. They like it's we're highlighting this player that happened to play for the Raiders, and they just ignore every bit of the fact that it was coached by John Gruden.
Yeah, John Gruden. Yeah, he is exiled, but I mean, he still. I don't, cry me a river. He still got a little more money than I got. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, at the end of the day, hey, but like I said, we of course will continue with this thing as it moves along because I'm sure it's not done. Even when the season gets into probably the middle of the season, 2/3 of the season, I'm pretty sure that this thing right here, man, it ain't going nowhere, and neither are we. But we will be moving on to finally our divisional previews. I'll start off with the NFC North. Double J, since you just now joining us, the Packers. Is Aaron Rodgers the most overrated player of this generation?
Considering he has 1 Super Bowl ring, yeah.
Well, yeah, I say that too. And what's his record in NFC championships?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, other than even at least LeBron has more than 1. For a dude that's doing.
I'm surprised TJ didn't pop up right quick when you said that. You know what I'm saying? TJ, you usually be right on cue. You know what I mean? Seeing how y'all buddies and everything.
But, well, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, again, I think it's worth noting that he publicly admits to taking some kind of hallucinogen.
Y'all saw that the other day. Yeah, but hey, listen, it couldn't be me.
I mean, if he's out there in the desert finding himself, that's what he's doing in the offseason. No wonder he comes back with all that hair.
Man, I'm not going to even repeat that. Oh my gosh!
I said finding himself.
Okay, I said okay. I said
anything that sounds like fine.
Oh my gosh! All right,
we see where our host mind is at.
No, hey.
That's the Miami Hurricane. He thought you were talking about the Miami Hurricane.
One of my ear pieces went out right quick.
Yeah,
got
that's the Miami Hurricane side.
Hey, don't hate on the Canes. Don't hate on the Canes because
there's a joke that I could, we could go.
Oh, never mind. No, thank you. Yeah, Paige and Mrs. Alva. I got some for next week. Yeah, okay, yeah, we got some Kane talk coming next week, guaranteed. Watch, just because Brother Rich always starting. Always got, like Michael Jackson said, always got to be starting something. Brother Rich, is Aaron Rodgers the most overrated player of this generation?
Absolutely not.
Oh, please.
What? No, here's the question. How could you say he's the most overrated when, in fact, you're talking about a player who, even though he has not won in the Super Bowl or he hasn't done anything in the playoffs, this is a player who statistically he rates. And that's what I'm sorry, that's what at his position, he's considered very effective at what he does at his position. We're not talking about his teams. Yeah. We're not talking about his management. We're not talking about the talent around him and how good they have been and what they should have done with that. What we're talking about now is a player who has won MVPs, more than one.
Yeah, okay.
Who has had the most yards in a season, who has some records, and who leads a franchise, mind you, that is one of the marquee franchises in the NFL. No, I don't think you can say
NFL history.
Well, I think that has something to do with
history franchise.
I don't think you can say he's overrated. I don't think you could say that.
Well,
I think you have a better chance at saying some Dallas Cowboy. Maybe Dak Prescott is overrated as opposed to.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Just saying.
We should play the clip of him discussing his off-season habits.
Oh yeah, no. He probably got on one sandal. The movie.
Well, yeah, the other one's in the middle of the Mojave Desert.
Yeah, Luke. Speaking of, oh yeah, Double J. No Malusia for you. Paging Mrs. Alva. Paging Mrs. Alva. Please take the liquids away from him.
Well, you know he was at a NASCAR race, so you know what they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
and
trying
with
to
the
tell
rain
you.
delay,
Yeah,
with the weather delay.
Yeah, with the weather delay. Yeah, I'm sure the Kentucky was flowing.
Oh my.
The Jack or whatever they call that.
You know what? I had to slam 2 waters.
All of that.
Before with about 50 laps left.
They just passed jugs of beer around the whole stadium.
Everybody
when I'm saying no more.
Everybody bring their own keg. Oh yeah. Well, if you saying no more, oh my gosh.
Nope.
Luke Getsy. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, Luke Getsy, Getsy, was Aaron Rodgers' position coach in Green Bay. What, if anything, Brother Rich, does that mean for Justin Fields?
Nothing until we see how it translates on the field. Nothing.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. It wouldn't matter who it was, according to our host, with his disdain for Ohio State and their quarterbacks.
Are you talking about Art Schlichter? Please. Man, cut me in and cut it out. Man, how many Ohio State quarterbacks actually, other than Troy Smith, actually went to the NFL and really balled out? I'm talking about like a Marino or Elway or name somebody else. Yeah, Doug Williams. Even.
Joe Germain.
Oh man, stop it, Joe Germain. Yeah. Anyway, what if anything does that mean for Justin Fields, Double J? If Luke Getsy, Aaron Rodgers' former position coach, is now his position coach in Chicago.
So here's the thing: Peter King was at Bears camp.
Oh, you quoting Peter King?
No,
you sound like TJ.
Not at all. He was in a picture with a friend of mine. Rashid Davis was there, former Bear, and it sounds like the offense arrived late to the party. So whatever it is they're attempting to do,
Justin Fields going to be running for his life this year. It sounds like.
Well, it sounds like they're really going to be leaning heavily on the running game, which they're fully prepared to. And again, this is not myself. From the RB room is suggesting that they're not only prepared for it, but they think they can be very successful at doing exactly that.
Well, they need to tailor that offense to him. Then a lot of short passes or the short passing game. Double J, we'll stay with you. The Vikings. Kirk Cousins is not elite. Should the Norsemen just cancel their season early?
Well, especially if you think of, did you see what came out between him and Zim?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
And
but I'm on the side of Mike Zimmer though.
Why?
Why not?
Where's the truth and or better yet, where's the lie? And I know that wasn't like a hypothetical or a maybe this is what was said. First, somebody found the clip. And then second, when Kirk was in Washington, he said the exact same quote before, except minus the "I saved your job."
Yeah, but he got 100, and we talk about players that are getting paid. Let's talk about what he got paid.
Oh, he's overpaid.
Kirk Cousins got $117 million, Brother Rich.
Ridiculous.
And his record is what, 31-29?
Now, but here's why they should pack it in. It has nothing to do with him. They still have Justin Jefferson. They think Thielen's still there. They lost Rudolph to Tampa Bay, which again their backup last year was going to be. It was only a matter of time. So technically they haven't dropped off anything offensively until Dalvin Cook limps off the field.
Yeah.
Then you could pack it in, which was about sometime earlier this week.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're not going to win with Kirk Cousins. Brother Rich, what say you? Should the Norsemen just cancel their season early? Kirk Cousins is not elite.
They didn't cancel their season yet. I thought it was already. I thought every time they play, their season is canceled.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Yeah, exactly.
They're just playing to play. They're just going through.
They're going through the motions.
They're just going through the motion. Everybody knows that, and everybody knows that that's the kind of team that if they finish somewhere 8 and something or something, their franchise will be happy. Their fan base will be happy. Nobody expects anything from them. That's why they got a quarterback that nobody expects anything from.
Okay, I got you.
But here's the thing: if you ask Jim Harbaugh, the minute he had to get back on that flight, they should have canceled their season.
Yeah. Well, the minute before he got on the flight, they should have canceled it. WJ, was it a good move for the Lions? The Tigers. The Lions to move up for Jameson Williams, the wide receiver.
So, of course, I was there. He is exceptional, right? We all seen what he did.
Oh well, why? Because because the Lions drafted him.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, because he went to Purdue.
Hang on, no. But the Alabama, come on.
Okay. I'm just saying. You sound like you was going down that Purdue road.
No,
or the road to
not this time.
No. Oh, okay. Wow, that's a first.
However, of course, Madden ratings are a big thing, right? We had TJ up in arms about a few things.
Okay.
For a lot of rookie players specifically, he was rated one of the fastest receivers, not just not with rookies in general in the game.
Speed kills. I get it. Can he catch?
Well, given what we've seen at Alabama, the answer would be yes. However,
right. Well, as long as the combination and the two go together,
but this is the thing.
I'm on board.
Who's the better quarterback? Who he had at Alabama or Jared
Brother
Goff?
Rich? Oh, I'm taking Brother Rich all day. Brother Rich, put it right there. We can get it, baby. Put it right there. Yeah.
Speaking of people running for their lives.
Who?
Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah. Well, we already know you're going to be doing that. Brother Rich, say anything you want about the Lions.
They're terrible.
Yeah. They done took over the Brown spot, didn't they?
Terrible.
Yeah,
they're going to be terrible.
Yeah, they're going to continue. They need to sell that team.
They won't. Why would they? It's a toy.
Oh, yeah,
think about it.
Right.
I think finally I had read something recently that shows they've lost some revenue, like from a year-over-year standpoint. And
I'm not surprised.
It's astounding to me because this has been being asked of the fan base for like literally 25 plus years, I think.
Let's be honest now. The Lions' modern day legacy, and they're probably going to the books for this. This is
0-16.
And remember now, they have been so bad. They made one of the best running backs of all time leave the sport because he saw no possible option other than to stay with a perpetually losing team, and he felt that it would be disingenuous to himself as an athlete and injurious to his body to continue to play with a team that had no investment in becoming better. And so they were going to trot him out there every day to get pretty much beat upon consistently in the name of attracting the fan base that they had. And they were just using him as a crash test dummy. So he had to retire.
He said he had to retire.
Never let him get out of the city. They would not trade him, and he had to retire. And we lost the best years, people say, of Barry Sanders, those who keep those and look at those kind of things, because he just quit the sport because the franchise called the Detroit Lions. Remember now, this is a team that's so terrible that the quarterback who played for them came out to Los Angeles and immediately became a media darling and got commercials where he lauded the team, but was so happy be gone from there and celebrating he was in a new location. It was a featured commercial for a national syndicated brand, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
This is the team you're talking about.
Well, right, and let's not forget that didn't happen on just one occasion. It happened twice. Okay. And then we talked about Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So two Hall of Fame players.
Yes.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, this may surprise you.
You said that with such fluidity.
What do you mean?
mentioned Matt Stafford as Hall of Famer?
No. I'm talking about Calvin and Barry.
Okay, got you. I mean, brother,
you
Rich
wish.
Said,
he would have.
I wanted to make sure because we are recording.
That one.
Yeah, let's move on over to the NFC.
Now, wait a minute. That he has as many rings. So who's the better player?
Who? What are you talking about? Who's the better?
Stop.
Who?
Stapp Hadford or Aaron? I'm on some kind of. I'm
Aaron Rodgers. Oh man, yeah. Let's move on to the NFC.
Well, what do you mean? Wait a minute here. They're statistically right. We use rings as a measuring stick. Sure, he doesn't have the MVPs, but is that where this lives and dies?
Now,
here?
if we're talking,
now if Stafford wins another one, who's the better quarterback?
Well, if it's for TJ, he's not here right now.
Well, historically, Aaron.
No,
did,
who has
right?
the better team? Who has the better team?
Oh, are you kidding me? What about for
right
the last
now?
12 years? With
who
Stafford?
has the better team?
And what did he do with it?
Stafford. He won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl.
Exactly. You gave Stafford a good team, and he won. I see how you're setting me up. But,
I'm just saying. Right. I know we're not calling him.
Rodgers has had the better team for again 11 years.
Okay, I tell you what. Give me Aaron Rodgers in the regular season, and then when we get to the playoffs, give me Matt Stafford.
Stop.
Well, okay, but
are you sure? Wait a minute. You as a Cleveland fan should know this very well.
Okay, give me Aaron Rodgers until we get. Give me Aaron Rodgers until we get to the NFC Championship. Then give me Matt Stafford.
No.
Well, what was you gonna say, Brother Rich?
So are we saying that Aaron Rodgers on the Los Angeles Rams as they were constructed last year does not advance and does not potentially win the same Super Bowl? Is that what we're saying?
Who does he always lose to?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying
he always loses to Brady.
No, but we're talking about the team that he had.
I'm talking about that team last year. Yeah, he would have won the Super Bowl.
They were constructed last year. Does he lose to Brady with Aaron Donald there?
I think he does. This is a guy that had a huge lead. Well, come on, you've said it yourself. They had a gigantic lead.
Yeah,
and they lost that game.
Listen, but
Aaron Rodgers must have went to the school that's Purdue's rival. Did he go to Notre Dame?
No,
he went to Cal.
Yeah,
but they beat Purdue. They beat Purdue in the Trombone Bowl.
Well, it had to be something. They had to
they beat Purdue. Yeah,
he kept Purdue from doing something.
They beat Purdue in the St. Lucia Bowl. We move on over to the NFC East or NFC East. Take your pick. The Giants, Brother Rich. What should we expect from Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley this season?
I fell asleep.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
I doze. On Sunday, those are the games that people are going to be sleeping through when the Giants.
But the Giants got a rich history too, but they just in the down. They just in the down.
But this is not right now.
Not right now.
History that's not good.
Okay, got you. Double J, what should we expect from Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley this season? Oh, you in agreement with Brother Rich? Well, I'm not surprised.
My buddy.
It is unbelievable.
No, it's more than believable. All right, we move on to the Washington Commanders. We're gonna go through these things so y'all can get out of here. It's almost past my nap time anyway. The Washington Commanders. Does the chaos surrounding Washington derail any chances they have even before the start of the season?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's
absolutely. That franchise is a mess.
It's a mess. Yeah, it is. And who retired? Didn't some player retire? Was it Ryan Kerrigan?
Yeah.
Ryan Kerrigan retired?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the
guy.
Best defensive ends. Yeah.
Oh, how about that? Oh.
Yeah.
Finally, it taken to retire to get some credibility.
Oh boy. Oh, Bob.
Here we go.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah. Okay. Double J, you in agreement with that too?
No, because I don't think they're talking about it enough. And I think they speaking of Ohio State players, I think Scary Terry is severely underrated. I do think they've added some better weapons around him, and they've improved more than the Giants have. So just again, you're talking about 2 games a year. At the very least, I would say they would split them. And that's being very, again, circumstantial based on the schedule when they go to, not the Meadowlands, but MetLife.
Brother Rich, can Jalen Hurts get the Eagles back to the playoffs?
Yes.
You think so, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
Absolutely.
I think so too. I think you talking about Raiders.
And what we've seen from him as it relates to, and that team, they play in a city. It's called the city of brotherly love for a reason. When those teams unite and they play that gritty Eagles football, that cold East Coast grinded out football, he's just the kind of leader
guy for that.
Absolute fact.
Yeah.
Absolute. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did well at all.
I think his teammates really
and they love him.
Look who they traded for.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
There were games last season that I would say October, November-ish that just they were plagued, like offensively handicapped. It was really, really bad. And the defense kept them in the games. And of course, they had a ton of injuries at the running back position specifically. Of course, the receivers were few and far between. Now, all of a sudden, you add someone at the caliber of A.J. Brown. That was one of the highlights of the draft, was seeing a move like that. Many couldn't believe that Tennessee would be willing to give him up, especially so easily. And so if this is a make or break year, because the playoffs, truthfully, they should be
for Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely, I think this is this is the difference of him
his third year or something.
Yes.
So how is this a make or break year for him?
That's typically in right around the time that rookie quarterbacks are asked
because the attention spans of America, the attention span of America is all of a blip. Yes, okay, got you. Yeah, that's why. I don't think so.
What do you mean? I don't believe. I'll tell you this right now. I'll be on record right now that if they fail to make the playoffs, albeit even the wild card, if they fail to make the playoffs, he will be on a different team next season.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah, 110%.
Okay, yeah. I don't think so. I think they're gonna win the division this year. And then last but not least,
but look at that. Look what you just said. So if you think we're going into this with the expectation of them being division champions, which obviously would be,
or just me, because
no, I said we.
Okay,
meaning I'm with you on this.
Okay, they win the division.
And on paper, they should be the division winners. If they fail to do so, he will be largely, as all quarterbacks do, held accountable or at fault for why they did.
Of course, it's the sexiest position in football. They always gonna get the blame, unless you're Tom Brady. The Cowboys, Brother Richards and Double J's favorite team here on the P-Rogram.
Yeah, but you're the one that saved them for last. You saved the.
I know, just conveniently.
Subliminally, he saves the best for last because he saves his team for last.
I did not.
Yeah, just one of those many coincidences of his notes.
Subliminally, he saves them for last. Last thing we're doing on the P-Rogram.
Let's talk about the Cowboys.
Subject is this team. Yes, go ahead. Yes, sir. What's your question, sir?
Oh, hell no.
Out of here with that. Can we say another first-round playoff exit for the Cowboys?
Without a doubt. Most overrated team in football. $7.6 billion worth of doo-doo.
Did he just say doo-doo on the platform P-Rogram? Oh my gosh. Okay, I got you. I'm sure, Double J, you are in agreement.
So look, Amari Cooper, of course, is gone.
Obviously.
The
CeeDee Lamb is the only one left.
Well,
who's
the
the
receiver they had brought in was stretchered out.
I was going to say somebody tore their ACL or something. Who's the receiver that tore his ACL?
I think he had came from Green Bay, or not Devontae Adams, of course. But,
no, of course not. He's with the Raiders.
But yeah, that was I think the writing's on the wall there, especially with Zeke specifically. Many are questioning. I think this is a big year for him.
That's what I was getting ready, and that was my next part of that too. It was a two-part. Will the real Zeke Elliott please stand up?
Conveniently, also Ohio State guys, bro. Rich, you noticing this?
Man, I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. Don't disrespect me with Ohio State.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Not.
You're trying to poo-poo. Speaking of doo-doo, you've got something boiling in that kettle over there.
Hey, listen. Hey, don't. Hey,
Aaron Rodgers, may have spiced it up.
I'm mentioning that because he's a central player on this team.
And
not
see,
Zeke
on this team.
Question is making the case for what we talked about with Kareem Hunt. Zeke is in that time right now where many people believe his best years are behind him. He's on a downward trajectory, and that he is soon to be replaced as a featured back in Dallas's offense. Because who will Dak have in the backfield with him that's going to be productive? That's a question now.
Tony Pollard.
Forward, it looks like Dallas is on a rebuild. Your team is on a rebuild. I'm sorry to tell you.
Yeah, Tony Pollard is a switch him up back. He's not an every down back.
Your team
I'm
is
telling
on
you, I'm glad Dak got what he got when he got it, but yeah, the Cowboys are the most overrated team in sports.
Wow, that's a lot for you to say.
They had
what you mean? I'm just hey, unlike some people on this platform. What you mean? I keep it 100.
That's why you have a United States jersey on, because you took the whole power of America to say that. You took everything in America to get you to say that.
Oh man, cut me in and cut it out, man. Cut me in and cut it out.
Hey, this tape is going to be buried with locked in the same place that Robert.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Absolutely, it's not.
He had to say that. It took a lot to say that.
Absolutely not.
And you know what he's gonna do when he get off here? He's gonna go make his president apologize. He's embarrassed.
Well, I'm gonna do the first part, but I'm not about to. I don't have to apologize for telling the truth. You see, it used to be a game show. The game show when you and I was coming up to tell the truth. That's why they took it off the air. That's why they took it off the air.
I just admire that. I admire.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got you. All right. Well, it's been a fun one.
Courage.
Yeah, I'm glad Double J was finally able to join us after the Lucia. It's past my bedtime. My pajamas with the feet in them are hanging up in the closet. You know what I'm about to say? It's time for me to jump in the shower and jump in the pajamas with the feet in them. And on that note, I'll leave you with this quote. Aim to live in this world without allowing the world to live inside you. Because when a boat sits on water, it sails perfectly. But when water enters inside the boat, it sinks. That's from Hazrat Ali. All righty. Okay. Yeah. And like I said, it's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out Wednesday and Sunday now at 8:05. We're going to change the time a little bit on the PM side right here on the yard. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the shop's fan page, and of course, YouTube. When you go to YouTube, hit the little bell, the notification, whatever it is. Subscribe to the page, please. We're trying to get our subscribers up or whatever. We appreciate all the people that weighed in and all that stuff too, especially last Wednesday. Was that last Wednesday? Yeah, that was a pretty good show. And make sure, like I said, you hit that subscribe button. We'd be much obliged. And if that don't work, Google it. For my man's B Rich, Double J, D Gully, who joined us for a quick second today, and all those who follow us and support us, all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.